literally kneeing and cheap shotting C in the throat. Like, if she did that to any of our teammates, we'd be pissed. But like, they're definitely targeting her, and the league and the refs do nothing.
What started as a single play quickly turned into one of the biggest talking points in the WNBA. When Alyssa Thomas and Caitlin Clark collided during the game, fans initially expected it to be remembered as another physical basketball moment. But within minutes, slow-motion replays began circulating online, and the conversation shifted dramatically. Viewers started debating whether the officials had missed something significant, while analysts and fans broke down every angle of the play. Then Sophie Cunningham added fuel to the discussion by openly questioning what had happened, turning an already heated debate into a league-wide controversy. Suddenly, this wasn't just about one foul anymore. It became a conversation about consistency, player protection, and whether the WNBA was doing enough to handle its biggest moments. As more clips surfaced and more reactions poured in, one thing became impossible to ignore. This incident had opened the door to a much larger debate that extended far beyond a single game. And what happened next only made the controversy even harder to dismiss.
Right here, Angelica suffering. I'm calling her out, man. Literally looking at this. She's paying attention to it, and I'm thinking every ref is paying attention to the ball. They usually do that. They have a problem with doing that, and they miss things like this, but you literally have this lady looking right at it, man, and don't say a...
As the replay continued to spread across social media, attention quickly shifted away from the collision itself and toward what Sophie Cunningham had to say afterward. Instead of brushing the moment aside, she openly questioned how the situation was handled, suggesting that players notice far more on the court than fans often realize. Her comments immediately caught attention because active players rarely speak so directly about officiating, especially when it involves another team's star. Within hours, clips of her interview were everywhere, with supporters praising her for saying what many believed, while critics argued she was adding unnecessary fuel to an already heated debate. The discussion became less about one isolated play and more about whether there had been a growing pattern throughout Caitlin Clark's rookie season. Reports highlighted previous controversial fouls and missed calls, while countless fans began connecting moments from earlier games to build their own conclusions. Whether people agreed with Sophie or not, one thing was clear: her comments had transformed a single incident into a league-wide conversation that refused to fade. But as people looked closer at the footage, they noticed something that made the controversy even bigger.
All the way up. This lady right here, man, every time I see her, some BS is going down. I think she was in the eye poke game. Man, yeah, this lady right here, investigate this lady. I don't know what she got going on, dog, but it's nonsense. It's nonsense.
As fans examined every replay frame by frame, the focus quickly shifted toward the officials. Many questioned how such a physical sequence could unfold without a stronger response during the game. Slow-motion clips were shared millions of times, with viewers pointing to the positioning of the referees and debating whether they had a clear view of the contact. Some believed it was simply a difficult play to judge in real time, while others argued that moments like this should never be missed at the professional level. The disagreement spread far beyond one fan base, drawing in former players, sports commentators, and basketball analysts who all offered different perspectives. Instead of calming the situation, every new breakdown seemed to create even more questions. And before long, fans began connecting this incident to several other controversial moments from the season.
Why would you ever put me on it?
But people are up in arms that Caitlin's not on it. And then also watching her get kind of her ass kicked last night, I do see everyone being like, why does the league not protect this person? I don't want to get in beef with Kathy either, but it is like she's jealous of her, or like thinks that like because she's a bigger face than her or like anyone the WNBA's had, that she like won't give her the platform. It's so weird.
That was the moment many people started asking whether this was part of a larger pattern rather than a single mistake. Throughout Caitlin Clark's rookie season, several physical plays had already sparked heated discussions across social media. Some fans pointed to previous hard fouls and technical foul decisions, arguing that similar incidents had been handled inconsistently. Others pushed back, saying Clark receives the same treatment as every other star who enters a highly competitive league. Regardless of which side people supported, the debate kept growing because each new incident reminded viewers of the last one. Instead of disappearing after a few news cycles, the conversation followed the league from game to game, creating headlines almost every week. But the biggest criticism wasn't aimed at the players. It was aimed at the people running the league.
That should be Caitlin. That should be Kelsey Mitchell. That should be Aaliyah Boston. Like, why are we putting random players on there? I'm one of them.
And that's the funny thing, man. I actually thought that it might have been Caitlin's brand getting in the way of getting on that poster, you know, using her likeness and all that. But that same company actually sold necklaces with Caitlin Clark's face on it. So that couldn't be the issue, right? And honestly, man, it would behoove the WNBA and Kathy to actually try to protect Caitlin, man. We seen the Jordan rule come out and how the NBA was protecting Jordan after seeing him get his butt whooped all up and down the court with the Pistons. You saw the Jordan rule come out, man, and it's not necessarily saying nobody is paying attention to the other players. Any dirty foul that happens,
As the controversy intensified, attention shifted toward WNBA leadership. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert faced growing criticism from some fans and media personalities who questioned how the league was responding to the situation. At the same time, another debate resurfaced involving promotional campaigns and marketing decisions, with many wondering why Caitlin Clark wasn't featured more prominently in certain league promotions despite her enormous popularity. Others defended those decisions, arguing that the WNBA has always promoted multiple stars rather than focusing on one player alone. Online discussions quickly turned into competing theories, with rumors spreading across social media. While many of those claims remain opinions rather than confirmed facts, they fueled an even bigger conversation about how the league should balance celebrating its newest superstar while continuing to promote the rest of its talent. But regardless of those debates, one thing couldn't be denied. The numbers surrounding Clark's impact were impossible to ignore.
Ever seen in my life. So let me take you
I'm
through.
gonna agree, actually. I think I've seen you do crazier shit, and that was a weak double tech on both of you, for being honest.
Dude, so what happened is, damn, she's always involved. She's always involved in some stuff. Like, get your shit.
By nearly every measurable statistic, Caitlin Clark's arrival changed the conversation around the WNBA. Television audiences reached record levels. Arenas across the country saw massive attendance increases, and merchandise sales surged throughout the season. Road games became major events, with opposing teams benefiting from larger crowds whenever Clark was on the schedule. Even longtime basketball analysts admitted that the level of national attention surrounding the league had reached heights rarely seen before. Whether someone was a Clark supporter or one of her biggest critics, almost everyone agreed that she had become one of the biggest attractions in women's basketball. That success also raised expectations for how the league should protect and promote its biggest stars. But the conversation became even more interesting when some of the sport's biggest legends weighed in.
You're losing it, dog. You're losing it. I don't understand where you're coming from with that. But Lisa Leslie ended up coming in and giving her 10 cents about it, man. Listen to what she had to say.
Ladies, your thoughts just as the league continues to work through what many perceive as consistency issues, especially when it comes to games being officiated, Lisa?
Well, officiating is tough. I don't know if anybody's ever even tried to officiate. It's not the easiest game. It's one of the most thankless jobs you can do. But in this particular situation, I thought that the last official should have been able to.
Former players and basketball analysts soon added their own perspectives, bringing even more attention to the controversy. Some acknowledged that basketball has always been a physical game and warned against overreacting to every hard foul. Others argued there is a clear difference between aggressive defense and actions that risk player safety. WNBA legend Lisa Leslie emphasized that consistency is what matters most, explaining that players simply want officials to apply the same standards every night regardless of who's involved. Those comments resonated with many fans because they shifted the conversation away from personalities and toward the bigger issue of fairness. Instead of asking who was right or wrong in one specific play, people began asking whether the league's overall approach to officiating needed improvement. And then came the punishment that divided basketball fans even further.
You know, she only get a game suspension, which really is not enough for me. I'm thinking like 5 minimum. 5 minimum, dog. Yeah, you heard me. 5 minimum. There's no way you only get 1 game suspension after some nonsense like that. If that was Draymond Green, that's a 3-game, 4-game suspension. Come on, dog. We know what's going on out here. I mean, I don't understand why you don't send a message. This is the perfect time to send a message for Caitlin Clark. At least show that this nonsense would not be allowed against Caitlin Clark anymore. Kathy, I'm talking to you. This would be the perfect time to make an example out of AT so this nonsense can stop. As you heard Sophie, we hear it, we see it all the time. We see this nonsense all the time, man. Kathy, you have to do something. You have to do something.
When the league announced Alyssa Thomas's suspension, reactions were immediate and completely divided. Some believed the punishment was appropriate based on league precedent, while others argued it failed to send a strong enough message about player safety. Comparisons quickly surfaced with suspensions handed down in both the WNBA and NBA, as fans debated whether similar incidents had received harsher consequences in the past. Sports talk shows, podcasts, and social media became filled with arguments from both sides, each convinced their interpretation was the correct one. Instead of bringing the controversy to an end, the suspension created an entirely new wave of debate that lasted for days. But beyond the arguments over discipline, an even larger question remained unanswered. Looking back, it's clear this controversy became about far more than one foul, one referee, or one suspension. It sparked a nationwide discussion about officiating standards, player safety, league leadership, and the future direction of the WNBA itself. Supporters on every side continue to defend their positions, and the debate shows no signs of disappearing anytime soon. What everyone can agree on is that the spotlight on the league has never been brighter. Every controversial decision now reaches millions of viewers within minutes, making accountability more important than ever. Whether this moment ultimately leads to meaningful changes or simply becomes another chapter in an ongoing debate is something only time will answer. But one thing is certain, the next major controversy will be watched more closely than ever before.